folks. This is our first presentation of the WordPress group. This is installing WordPress. Let's see that a little bit better. So what we're going to be doing today is installing WordPress from scratch and telling you all about it. I'm Damian Montero, one of the not co-founders, but co-assistants of the Florida WordPress group. All that. Sorry about the speaking. I have a little microphone. I'm trying to speak in Starbucks, so also hear some music in the background. There are three ways if you want to get WordPress. What does that mean? You're going to be able to run everything to do with WordPress and have it on your own domain name. Now, you can get it by going to WordPress.com, signing up for a free account or the Premier account, which costs some amount of dollars. And for an additional $10 a year, it's included in the Premier account, which I'm not sure how much it is. But if you want the free account for $10 a year, you can have your own domain name instead of having, say, for example, damian.wordpress.com, which is good, but if WordPress goes away or something like that, or if they decide that they really like my domain name and they want to keep it, I'm in a lot of trouble. So having something like Damian or the domain name that we're going to look at in just a second is the best. The other option is your web host. We'll provide more information about your web host, but you know, GoDaddy and those type of people that give you the domain name also give you a place, and we'll explain more about it. They also have a one-button release, one-button push that sometimes puts a WordPress in some kind of directory for you already, doing all this work. And then there's installing it, and which is what we're going to be doing today. So, what we're going to assume is a couple of things, is that you want your own domain name, like I mentioned before. You want Damian.com or WordPressFlorida.com, as we have. And you have your own web host, and we'll talk about what that means in just a second. What you need really to get a real web or blog going is the following: a domain name. That's the Damian.com, Florida WordPress.com, or the one we're going to look at in just a minute called EHRMedicalRecords.com, which is some of my new blog that I'm working on currently before we go to the presentation. So I need a domain name, a place to find me. Think of it as the address in your house. That doesn't mean anything. You pay for that address, for the rights of that address. You pay taxes. And you pay that once a year. Just the same way, a domain name costs about $10 once a year from GoDaddy or WordPress.com or anybody else. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be hosted on a server that we can control, because we don't care if WordPress goes down or we don't care if anybody else is in trouble. We're going to host it ourselves. What does that mean? Getting what's called a web host, and we'll explain more about that in a little bit minute. It needs PHP and MySQL. Those are two things it needs. Usually if you answer the word Linux, once you're on the phone with any provider you choose, you can usually get the right amount of information. We need all the files from WordPress.org, and we'll show you how to do it, and a way to upload the files. So let's do it. We're going to minimize PowerPoint, and essentially what I'll be doing is I'm going to be going to WordPress.org. Sorry, this is our WordPress meetup group, as you know, and you can also find us at meetupgroup.com/sfwordpress. Getting back to what we're going to do, we want to go to WordPress.org, and I'll see if you can see it up here. At WordPress.org, there's going to be a place to download. Over here, there is a download. Sorry about the flickering icon. That seems to be part of my recording video. It's not that I'm nervous. Once you clicked on that download link, there's one over here. Go ahead and click on it. And even if you're Mac or PC, go ahead and click on it and save it somewhere that's easy to see. Say on your desktop, the Mac or Windows. Once you do that, you're going to have it sitting there in your WordPress. I'm sorry, this is WordPress.com. Okay, my apologies. So, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be sitting, and there's going to be a file that we just downloaded. Over here, we've downloaded this one file. This one file that represents all the files included into WordPress. This is it. That is WordPress. It's hitting those books. That's the icon that's represented on my computer, but this you'll be represented by different things on your situation. What this is a combination of a bunch of files. If I right click on them in Windows and choose to extract the files, okay, and there'll be one option for that over here. I have a particular program installed, so it lets me do a couple of different options, but you'll see extract all in Windows, or in Macintosh you simply double click on it and you'll get a new folder. This is the new folder you're going to get. Now if you open up the new folder, there's a WordPress directory, and within it there are several hundred files. These are the magical files, the magical people that will live in our little house, which is the web host. So what we're going to be doing is going to do the following. We're going to grab those files, and we need to upload them some way. We need to send them over to our web host, okay? So we've already gone to GoDaddy, and we've chosen an economy plan or something to do with Linux, or we've gone to, for example, 1&1, any of these companies. We've called them up and said, I need to find the FTP information. That's Frank, Tom, Peter, FTP. They'll give you some information. You're going to go ahead and get a program called FileZilla. Okay, FileZilla, and it's not at FileZilla.com. You're actually going to find it at FileZilla-project. You're going to need the client, and this is, or any FTP program, and I've chosen this because it has both Windows, Linux, and Mac. So there's the Mac, there's the Windows ones. Once we've installed it, it's just a simple little program. The program has your representation of your files on your computer here, and the representations on the right hand side of where you've dropped the files on the web server. Remember, we have our files that we just downloaded, we've bought our domain name from GoDaddy or somebody else, and we need to place them in what's called the web host. Again, GoDaddy or whoever you bought the domain name will help you with this part, and especially helping you with telling FileZilla how to tell it this side on the right hand side. Okay, what we're going to do is going into that directory we've just created. We're going to go into the one that says WordPress, so we see a lot of different files. We're going to highlight the first, go all the way down to the bottom, hold down the Shift key, and highlight the last ones. You've highlighted them all. Now I want you to grab them from the left to the right. The GoDaddy people or anybody that you paid the $4 a month service plan for will help you with this. Just simply moving the files there is enough. Once we finish with that step, and in this case I've gone ahead and finished it for you, what we're going to do is simply go to that directory, exactly the domain that we have. In my case, it's AHR Medical Records. Now again, your domain name would be, of course, differently. So then, you see, we already have a website and we have something. And it's pretty much telling us a wizard to go through it. It's going to ask you some basic information. It's going to tell you that you need your database information and some basic information. Now here's some of the things we're going to be able to tell it to. We need a database name, username, password. Now these things sound like something you don't know, but you do know them. A quick phone call to the same people that provided you the FTP information will give you this information. For me, it's the following thing you see here. Absolutely useless to you, but it is something that you're going to be able to get from the people that you're paying the $4 a month or $5 a month from that. So we could go ahead and grab all the information exactly as we've been told, and make sure to ask them if you can, whatever you can, okay? In other words, get this information, this user information, don't be shy, okay? And, alright. Alright, I see my password for some reason. Down here is what's called the table prefix. Unbelievably unimportant, but if you do want to have multiple domain names, what you can do is put something that's unique here that identifies your tables. I'm going to put EHR because that's part of my domain name. You can put anything you want, like for example the medical records website or something that makes sense, like Jan's website. I'm trying to put an underscore, it'll be easier for later. Click on submit, and it's going to connect. It's successfully connected. I'm going to run the install. Okay, it's going to ask us some basic information next, like the blog title. Now you all know my email. We're going to go ahead and allow the blog to appear on search engines and Technorati. And we're going to go ahead and click on WordPress. I guess the information I just typed in would be your personal information. Okay, you're going to get two pieces of information. This one's unique, and you're going to get a different one than mine. You can see mine right now, but I'll change it in just 1 minute, so don't worry about it. But remember, it's admin and that bizarre name. Write it down if you can. You're going to get an email, but still, writing it down. That's good. Okay, so what did we say it was? It was admin, and everybody remembers that password, of course. Well, no need to remember. I copied and pasted. Again, even the Macintosh people can do this. Again, it was the same program for everything of Windows and Macintosh. As you can see, if I've logged on, and I'm ready to go. Okay. There is some information, like for example, in my browser it tells me to remember and all that. But if you look carefully, we right-click, and we go to the visit website, we'll see that my website, which had nothing before, now is ready to go. Is it ugly? Yes, it is ugly. Is it working? Yes, it does work. And that's how we get this WordPress installed on any computer by anybody. Thank you.